Hello everybody, welcome back to Leeton. My name's Jace and this channel is about our journey to become more self-sufficient. So today I've got a few things that I need to pot on, and I also need to prick out and put on my peppers and chilies. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so I've got my potting on mix, and this is just shop bought compost with vermiculite and a little bit of fish blood and bone mixed into it as well. Purely, the plants are germinated now, they need to be potted on, they need a bit more nutrients, and I'm not a great believer that these shop bought composts have that much nutrition in them, so I've added a little bit more in the way of fish blood and bone. So the first thing is, how do you know if something needs potting on? Well, the first indicator would be, let's take one of these marigolds for example. The plant is looking pretty big for the pot. Another indicator would be there's a lot of roots coming out the bottom of the pot, so that definitely needs potting on. But I'm not actually going to do that because these are going to get put out in the garden fairly soon, and they're still looking healthy, so I'm not too worried about that for a few days. Another indicator would be that the plant is starting to look tired. It's going a bit yellow, its growth has slowed down, etc. And that's probably because it's pot bound. The roots have now filled the pot completely. It's used up all of the goodness in the compost and there's nowhere for it to go. So it needs potting on with some fresh compost and potting medium. So what have I got to put on? So I've got courgettes. Now these really do need potting on. If you look at the size of the plant compared to the pot, there are a few roots at the bottom. And you can always check as well, take the plant out of the pot. So if you put a finger either side of the stem, if you can see that, like this, and tip the plant out. If it won't come out, give it a tap on the bottom, give it a gentle squeeze on the side of the pot. As you can see, that's getting pretty pot bound. The roots have come down to the bottom of the pot and then they've turned back up and they're growing upwards now and filling this area of compost. So that needs to be potted on. So I've got 4 of those to do. And maybe the cucumbers, let's check one of those. Now that I'd say is actually okay for now. I'm not gonna get too worried about potting those on for now. Probably another week or so and they'll need potting on. Okay, so we've got the courgettes to do. I've got 4 of those, and I'm going to put them in these pots because that's what I've got available. And what you want really in a perfect world when you're potting on is about 1 inch extra compost from what the size of the pot that it was in before, and that gives it plenty of room to grow, gives you plenty of space to put in some more compost to add nutrients, but it isn't that big that the plant is sat in a huge mass of damp compost which could rot the roots. Not necessarily, but it could. So put some compost in the bottom to about the depth that it was before, like that. Tip the plant out, place the plant in, taking care not to damage the stem or anything, and then fill in around it. Just firm the compost down around it as well. And that now, I'll give it a water in a bit, but that now can grow on with fresh nutrients. It's got space for its roots to grow, and if it's got space for its roots to grow, then that means it can produce more growth. So that's one. I'll just do another one to show you. So composting the bottom to about the depth of its original planting depth. Tip the plant out. Good root network there. Put the plant in the middle of the new pot and then backfill. Just firming it down around the edges. I try to not, when I plant things, I try to leave the compost slightly below the top of the pot, so that when I water, the water doesn't just run off. It sits in the pot and then soaks down into the compost. So that's those two. There's actually another two to do, but I'll do those in a while. I don't need to show you all four. And then I've got my chilies and peppers, which I need to pot on. So in here I've got some red bell peppers, sweet peppers, and these are actually from home saved seed from 2020, so I don't know if they'll be any good or not. I've got pepper sweet Amy, which I think is a yellow bell pepper, and then I've got a packet of mixed chili seeds. And when I bought the packet, I thought, well, there's 4 or 5 varieties in the packet and they'll come in individual sachets, and they didn't. They were all just mixed up in the same packet. So I don't really know what I've got, but that could be an interesting taste test at some point in the future if we get fruits. So never mind, it will be fine, I'm sure. So I'm going to put those in these pots, this sort of size, a little bit in the bottom. And then I'm just going to get my finger and gently go in, tease under the roots to lift the root system up, and then hold the seedling leaf. So this is a seedling leaf, and the 2 smaller leaves in the middle are what we call true leaves. And if you hold the seedling leaf, if you pull that off by accident, it isn't the end of the world. Whereas if you hold one of the true leaves, or you hold the stem and crush it, that could kill the plant. So I want to plant it to about the same depth that it was before. Just backfill. And again, I'll give this a water in a little while. So that's one of those. So that was a chili, one of the mixed chilies. So I need to keep these in order now. I was hoping to do something outside today, but we've got that sort of weather where every 5 or 10 minutes you're having to come in or take shelter, because we've got that sort of spring storm weather come through, and it's pretty windy, rain. There's a log in the compost. This is all there is to it, really. Nothing complicated. I shall just work my way through these now. Just potting them on. But isn't it nice the weather's actually warmed up a bit? Well, certainly where I live in Shropshire, it's warmed up. And for my overseas viewers, Shropshire is about in the middle of England and about 2/3 of the way down the UK ish. I'm being approximate there. Slightly more west than east. Now this is my second attempt at peppers and chilies this year. My first attempt just didn't germinate at all, and that I think was down to I didn't have enough heat to germinate them, and I ended up buying a little heated propagator to put this seedling tray in just to get them germinated. And I also soaked the seeds in tea overnight, which was a tip I picked up off the Potty Mouth Garden Club's chili special with Tony and JB, and it really worked. In fact, in the morning a couple of the seeds had actually chittered, if you like, and they were only in there overnight. So I was quite impressed with that. I've got a couple of smaller ones here, so I might as well put those in as well. There's one right down there, small one. And these will be fine in these pots now for a good few weeks, I would say. They will obviously be staying indoors because it is still way too cold and blustery, etc. for these chilies to go out yet. So I'm going to put those. Where should I put these? I'm going to put these back over here on the windowsill. Just trying to keep everything in order so that I don't get things mixed up. And I'll probably give a few of these plants away as they come on. In fact, last Mother's Day, I gave my mum some broccoli and cauliflower and courgette and cucumber seeds. She loved that. That was good. Right. Because she does like her veg growing as well. In fact, my mum was the first person to teach me about vegetable growing. And now I'm teaching her. Some things. She still has the odd little surprise, the odd little gem that she teaches me. Now, if you're going to use your big fat sausage fingers like I am, just be delicate with the roots. You can always use a pencil or something instead. So these are the Sweet Amy. Which from memory is a yellow bell pepper. And that looks like there's another one there. So there we go. I'll carry on doing this and I shall see you in a minute. Okay, so I've got to mix up some more mixture now. So I thought I'd just very quickly show you that. I've got one seedling left to do from the peppers. So I'm just going to lay him on there for a moment. Him, her, sorry. And I always put the mix of my seed trays back in. Saves a little bit of money, but I've also, you know, I've probably sifted this compost a little bit already, pulled out the big bits. It's got a bit of vermiculite in there as well already, and the nutrients won't have been used up in this because these seedlings are very small, so they won't have really a chance to take all the nutrients out of the compost. So I'm going to add some more of that. So this is an Irish moss peat compost, which I have to say so far I've been quite impressed with. Now I know there's a big issue over peat in compost at the moment, and I agree. It would be nice to move away from peat, but they need to give us a decent alternative first. That's the problem. This green waste, green waste compost, I just don't believe has the same benefits as moss peat, or peat-based compost, sorry. Okay, so there's the compost. I'm going to add some vermiculite. And I'm going to add some fish blood and bone. And I'm just going to mix it all up. Go, just pull out any big bits of wood. We'll get this last little pepper potted on. There we go. That goes in there. Oh, while you're here, I might as well do these last two courgettes as well. And these are variety Black Beauty. And these were sown 13th of February. Go, that one. Just filling around it, firming it in. What you don't want is big air pockets. You want the roots to have something to grow into. And there we are. So, peppers and courgettes sorted out. Where's the other two? Where's the other two? And they all just need a bit of a water. Again, the water's at same sort of temperature as the compost. You can go over there like that. Got lots of light there. Alright guys, there you go, quick video just on me progressing my peppers, chilies and courgettes. And if you've liked the video, please hit the thumbs up, and if you haven't already subscribed, please do, and follow us on our journey, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.